Excellent. You chose unwisely. Well done. Get over here!
Уважаемые гости, дорогие преподаватели, аспиранты и студенты.
Welcome to the Institute of Foreign Languages of the People's Friendship University of Russia, to the international scientific battle between the postgraduates and students Lingua Slam.
Сегодня в научной битве сразится великолепная семерка игроков из России, Китая, Туниса, Бангладеша и Ливана. Задача каждого – рассказать о главных научных идеях современности и собственных научных исследованиях в области языка, методики преподавания иностранных языков и межкультурной коммуникации.
Today, a magnificent 7 players from Russia, China, Tunisia, Bangladesh, and Lebanon will compete in the scientific battle. Everyone's task to tell about the leading scientific ideas of our time and their research in the field of language, methods of teaching foreign languages, and intercultural communication.
Lingua Slam 3 главных правила. Только собственные научные исследования. Не больше 10 минут на выступление. Научное шоу должно быть увлекательным и понятным широкой публике. А в остальном разрешено все, кроме скуки и заумных терминов.
Lingua Slam has 3 primary rules. Only your scientific research, no more than 10 minutes per performance. A science show should be fun and understandable to the public. Otherwise, everything is allowed, except boredom and abstruse terms.
Дорогие зрители и слушатели, после выступления слэмеру можно задать 3 вопроса. Тот, кто задаст самый интересный вопрос, в будущем получит замечательный подарок – флешку. Мы запишем, кто задаст самый лучший вопрос.
Dear viewers, after the performance, you can ask Slammer 3 questions. The one who asks the most interesting question will receive a flash device as a gift. So we will record the one who is the most interesting. Khanfir, Tunisia. University of Carthage, Institute of Languages. My name is Reem. Reem means sand or white castle. I'm from North Africa. I'm 25 years old or even older. I'm passionate about linguistics. I speak Arabic, French, English, Italian, and a little bit of Turkish. Who doesn't love cats? Professionally, my dream is to become the greatest EFL teacher. I still feel darkness. I love learning new languages. And I dislike hot weather. Ladies and gentlemen, Reem Khanfir.
Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot.
Привет, Aslema. Hello. I'm glad I got to join you today. My name is Reem Khanfir. I'm Tunisian. I'm a student. I'm studying for an MA degree in applied linguistics at the Higher Institute of Languages of Tunis. And my presentation is about language variation in Tunisia. So before starting, let's take a look at the outline. As you can see, my talk will be divided into 5 main parts. I start with a brief introduction in which I will present my country and myself. Then I will talk about multiculturalism in Tunisia, which is perceived as one of the key factors behind language variation here. After that, I will give you some facts about the Tunisian dialect. We will see how Tunisian Arabic is full of linguistic variation. And of course, I will end up with a conclusion. Tunisia is a very small country. It is located in North Africa. It includes a remarkable homogeneity and cultural diversity. Tunisia is a northern African country with a total area of about 163 kilometers, which means about two-thirds the size of the UK or slightly larger than the US state of Georgia. Tunisian culture is very diverse. It is the product of an important multi-ethnic influx. Different cultures, civilizations, and multiple successive dynasties contributed to the culture of our country over centuries. Some of the cultures that contributed to this diversity is the European culture, the Amazigh, Jewish, Catholic, Carthaginians, Romans, Turkish, and Vandals. This unique mixture of cultures made Tunisia a medium of linguistic cross-pollination. Just like a baby, this country is small but very loud with its linguistic richness. Although Tunisians are claimed to speak the Tunisian Arabic as the official language, the Tunisian dialect, also called Darija, is formed from Arabic itself. As you can see from the pictures here, other Arabic countries like Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, and Egypt find it difficult and challenging to understand Tunisians when they speak. However, to some extent, Tunisian is intelligible to other North Africans, namely Libyans, Algerians, and Moroccans. Here, I think the geographical factor here plays an important role in controlling the level of mutual intelligibility. The closer linguistic distance between countries, the higher the mutual intelligibility. In fact, Algeria and Libya are bordering Tunisia. That's why the level of intelligibility is higher. Um, there are also other factors like historical factors like colonization or cultural similarities and so on. Standard Arabic is the official language. However, Tunisians speak Tunisian Arabic as their first language. The Tunisian Darija is a homogeneous mixture that is composed of many languages, mainly Arabic, French, Maltese, Turkish, Berber, Spanish, Italian, um, and many more. Other countries believe that Tunisian Arabic is not a variety of Arabic because it is not understandable by other Arabic speakers because it contains many French words, and it's not a variety of French either. So where are we? um, Adding to this, this linguistic melange makes each region specific from other regions. So before moving to talk about regional variation in Tunisia, let me talk about myself and why I chose to talk about this topic. I was born in Sfax, and it is the second biggest city in Tunisia. I've lived here most of my life, but when I decided to complete my higher studies, I got accepted in one of the universities in Tunis, which means the capital. So I had to move from southern part of Tunisia to the north part. During this journey, I noticed that the dialect I've been using in Sfax is totally different, and sometimes the meaning of a word can change radically from one region to the other. And imagine the embarrassing moments that I've experienced, especially directly after moving to Tunis. And sometimes I get offended from people. Um, the way Tunisians speak and use language differs from one area to the other. The dialect of South, for example, is a bit different from the dialect of North, and the central areas or rural or urban areas use language or Tunisian Arabic differently. Um, it can also differ according to social classes, like rich people, literate, and intellectuals tend more to use the French, and the younger generation tend to use English. Also, the use of Tunisian Arabic differs at the level of phonology, morphology, and semantics. This usually creates misunderstandings and puts people in awkward and funny situations. Semantic change can really put people in awkward and embarrassing moments. For example, in all regions, Tunisians call window blinds persiennes. This word is borrowed from French and it sounds really soft and easy to hear, right? However, in fact, we call it bermakli. Bermakli is a term that is derived from Turkish and it means a totally different thing. It means balustrades. So we took a Turkish word, permaklik, to form a scary way to refer to blinds. Some words can radically change from one region to the other. For example, the word babus in different regions means ponytail or tail, whereas in fact it means male genitals. For example, someone says عجبني بابوس اللي عملته في شعرك. When people say that, it doesn't mean I like the main genital organ on your hair. This is how people of Sfax can understand it. But the exact meaning of the sentence is simply I like your ponytail. For example, the word Tetmanic also can cause a lot of trouble, especially in South Tunisia. In other regions, it is used in daily speech and has no pejorative connotations or sexual connotations. It simply means teasing, but in South means something totally different. It's like, are you fucking me or having an affair with someone? All right. When Tunisians speak, they use the masculine suffix when talking about or addressing females, and they use the feminine suffixes to address males. We know it's a girl, for example, but we insist to use the masculine suffix. Or when we want to talk with males, we use the pronoun inti, which means you, and it is supposed to be used with females. But I don't know why in Tunisia we do the opposite. In Tunisia, this contradiction happens also when both speakers use Tunisian Arabic. The use of female and male suffixes is a little bit confusing and not standardized. For example, in rural areas, for example, they tend to respect more gender rules. They use female suffixes with females and masculine suffixes with males, which is quite normal. Tunisian Arabic is known by the linguistic phenomenon known as code switching, which means using more than one language in one single sentence. We code switch a lot here, and we do this unconsciously. For example, we can say that we don't speak French or have never used it, although we actually use a French word to express this idea. We don't speak French. For example, a person says لا لا jamais استعملته فرونسي d'ailleurs عمري ما كان في القاموس متاعي ما نعرفش علاش ما نتكلموش systématiquement. Donc, so the person is using French to say that he never spoke French. So this shows a contrasting attitude. So, in a nutshell, Tunisia is a rich diversity of cultures and linguistic practices. It is a mixture of many cultures, ethnicities, languages, and religions that are melding together. To understand the system underlying Tunisian Arabic, one should take into consideration some regional and social factors that govern the way Tunisians use language nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reem, for such a nice and amazing performance. Dear guests and dear participants, do you have questions to our first participant? Please.
Друзья мои,
Okay.
задавайте вопросы.
I have one question. Maybe hello everyone. My name is Revka, postgraduate student in the Institute of Foreign Languages Moscow region. Rim, I'm from Tunisia also. By the way, I have one question to you. You
Yeah.
can tell us about some embarrassing moment when you when you're using Sfaxian dialect in Tunisia, the capital.
The example I used, I live it. My friend, she told me محلي البعوض في راسك. So I was, what are you saying? No, you should never say this. What are you talking about? No. But she explained it to me. She said babus means a ponytail, not something else. So yeah, and there are so many differences and many embarrassing moments. Like I can't recall right now.
Yeah, I understand, Yurim, that you
Yeah,
mean that there is the embarrassing word. You
yeah,
use it in facts, and in facts it's normal. Yes, in the dialect. But
yes,
when they change the region, it's embarrassing word for him. Is the difference of dialect, ma'am, in the same in the same region in Tunisia.
yes.
Thank you. It's great job. I like your
Thank you,
presentation.
thank you so much.
Reem, I also have one question to you.
Yeah.
Can you try to maybe just from your point of view to explain how do you think if we take English version in
Mm-hmm.
Tunisia, what influence does it have more from British side or maybe from American side? Just how do you perceive this? What kind of opinion do you have?
Uh, I
Just
mean,
if we
which
talk,
one is closer? I
if we
think the
take
American
American,
dialect, because they sometimes break the rules, right?
right?
The British variety is more rigid and strict.
Mhm.
The American version is flexible, and sometimes they do not respect fully the rules.
Right. So they prefer the American version.
Yeah.
I see. Is it coming from universities also? Just do you have some programs? I mean, educative programs.
No, it's still a personal choice.
A
Um,
personal
they
choice.
they do not ask us to choose.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reem.
I called the police and the fireman.